Welcome to the Exhaust Notes Podcast.
What is good? Welcome back to the Exhaust Notes Podcast. My name is Nick Engvall, and today's episode is a really unique one. It's not really your typical podcast episode, to be honest. Over the weekend, the Australian Grand Prix took place, and we decided to live stream it with some of the community members. So it's a handful of us got together to watch, answer questions, talk through some of the things that were going on in the race, and just really enjoy the race together, although from afar, I guess. If you enjoyed this, check us out at twitch.com/exhaustnotes. We plan on doing this for most of the races this season and potentially some of the practices and qualifying sessions. So hopefully you guys enjoy this. If you do, let us know on Twitter at ExhaustNotesFM.
Have any of you guys been to Melbourne? Been to Australia?
Scared of spiders.
No.
I would definitely
Wait,
like to.
where? You post the... Oh, there we go. Twitch.
Greg, what's up, man?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
It's going.
Yo!
All right, let's see if I can.
Ooh, my
get
computer
this,
does not like that.
set up here.
What'd you do, Todd?
No, I'm trying to bring up the Twitch also so I can see the chat. And
Oh. Wow, 419,000 people. Largest
Wow.
sporting
I think
event
that's
in
the
Australian
weekend.
history. But still,
I think that's the weekend numbers.
yeah. That's still a ton of people for, I mean, biggest in the country's history, so.
Yeah.
What do you think? Is this a better layout?
I like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's better. 20,000 more than Texas, Aaron says.
Okay.
Well, I thought Texas was like 450 or something. No? Aaron?
I think it was like 400, 405.
Pretty insane.
Hello, Ro. How you doing, man? All right, guys. I'm going to need you to talk me through 90% of this race.
No, that's what. It's good that you're on the stream because then you can ask the questions and we can sound smart. There we go.
All right. That camera shot is so amazing.
So good. All right. Ooh. Is that Ocon that just dropped down or
Look like it, yeah.
Alonso?
You got the McLarens are back to back.
Oh, it was Alonso that dropped down.
Oh, man.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty clean first corner. That
Yeah.
pretty notorious turn one incidents at this track.
All right, guys. So, rookie question here. Are the amount of laps the same on every single track?
No, but
No.
the distance is.
The distance
Oh.
is the same. Okay.
Yeah. So they limit it to I think 100 kilometers. But the tracks are all different lengths, so that's why you'll see
Okay.
like 50 laps on some as opposed to like 70 laps on super short tracks.
But the distance is also different on each track?
Wait, what'd you say?
Well, so the goal is the overall distance, correct? And
Yeah.
not Okay. So it's always going to be the
I think it's always 100 kilometers.
100 kilometers. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, great point, Travis. Covered by Charles Leclerc in that first corner.
Yeah. This is starting pretty processionally.
Hamilton up 2, Gasly up 2, and Tsunoda up 2. Oh, Hamilton's in third.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa. I hope they show that replay. I was distracted.
I mean, I almost always come back to like just wishing that, like this race, Danny Rick being from Australia would be an amazing race for him to win, right? Oh,
Uh-oh.
Oh shit! Oh my god!
wow.
On
Man.
lap 2.
No.
Wow.
Is he stuck?
I jinxed him.
That looks like a wrap.
Oh, yeah. Big. At least a virtual safety car.
Okay, my second question of the night: what is a virtual safety car, and
So-
how is that significant to a race?
Oh man, he is beached. So virtual safety. So there's the difference is that it's literally that it's virtual. They don't actually put the safety car on track.
Right.
Everybody has to reduce their speed by. Oh, he just lost it in the grass. Everybody has to reduce their speed by 40%, I believe.
Okay.
How did he make it through there? Oh,
Yeah.
Real bad.
Jesus.
Oh, I guess that looked a lot closer than it was from that other angle.
Oh,
Oh, he's done.
Damn it.
So then they have to keep to a time delta, right? So they say they reduce their speed by 40% or whatever, and the average lap time reduced by 40%. They have to stick to that average speed. Oh yeah, Aaron confirmed.
got it. Okay.
40% reduce.
Got it. Okay.
So-
cool.
And then like they can't pass. Obviously, they have to stay a certain distance from.
Same
they're-
rules as if there were a physical car out there, right?
Yeah, well, a car you can actually like they group up behind. So if there's
Right.
a 2-second gap between everybody during a real safety car, everybody gets right
You can get right in there,
front to back. Yeah, exactly.
but you're not allowed to pass unless you've already been lapped. Is that correct?
No. The race director will have to say like all lapped cars now may overtake the safety car.
Oh,
and
so
then once
that's a call per race. Then it's not necessarily a standing rule.
yeah. Well, that's the Abu Dhabi controversy from last year.
I see. Okay.
I wonder how long it's going to go until we don't bring that up.
Probably.
I have
forever.
so much to learn, you guys. I'm loving every second.
No, I love that you're in the. I love that you're in the chat.
I appreciate you guys
asking the
having
questions.
me here. Yeah, this is crazy fun.
Oh, he just got boxed in. Oh yeah, let's get their predictions for their podium. I do like that new redesign turn 1 though. Much more space.
Yeah.
Oh
Man.
my god! Wow,
Man, he's so lucky he didn't hit somebody.
If
that
he,
was.
if he
looked
was
like it
coming across
by
that
inches.
track faster, he would have hit Bottas for sure.
Okay, why was somebody pitting immediately there on lap 3 or 4 that we're on now?
It's just a kind of a gamble on tire strategy.
But this early, that seems like too early to do that to me. I mean, I'm not familiar with this sport really at all. But
So, like, if there's another safety car, then he's already got his pit stop out of the way, and he can,
he can just go.
He'll make places up by everybody else pitting.
Right. Okay. I see.
And then, like, the chances of another safety car. I mean, I don't know. I can't think of if Australia is like that known for having a lot of safety. Oh, they're going full safety car now. Okay, so this is where everybody's going to bunch up behind the safety car.
Catch up. Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Nick, did you see that they outlawed the games that Max has been playing on the safety car restarts?
Oh,
you know,
really?
he always like gets right up next to the car and they're like kind of revs and like they literally just made a new article and that was illegal.
We saw that in the first race of this season, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Todd, you see, Aaron said Charles, Max, and Perez, and Travis said Charles and the two Red Bulls.
So yeah, we're all on the same page except for you, saying Lando.
Hey, I mean, at this point, he gave up 2 spots to Lewis already, so I don't even know.
If
Lewis and
Mercedes,
Russell, huh?
If Mercedes has the race pace to keep up there, then they need to, like, the whole F1 media needs to change their tune about them.
Wait, what do you mean?
Like they're all saying this is such a dire situation. Mercedes looks dog shit.
Oh, yeah.
And then every weekend they're like, oh, okay, we'll qualify like P5, P6, and then something happens and they like get near the podium or on the podium.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, the infamous moped.
Yeah. Man.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
I was just gonna say, maybe he could just steal it from the guy and hop on track with the safety car. I wonder what that fine would be.
Uh-oh.
Hey, if we get Team Papaya finishing top 6 or even top 10, both cars, that's huge. What did I say? New rules for all on restarts, but yeah, focused on Max. Cars can't weave, stop, start to create a weird gap anymore.
Okay. Has there ever been a race where a safety car has come out on lap 1?
Oh yeah, all the time.
It's
happened a ton.
Really?
Well, not all the time,
Okay.
but like it probably happens 2 or 3 times per season.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a couple of tracks that have a very sharp first corner that everybody's diving into just right off the gap.
Everybody bunches up and there's wrecks and whatnot. Okay.
You have the highest chance of wrecks on the race start, right? Because they're all bunched up. They're all taking off at the same time. They're all fighting to make up positions or gain positions at the start. And that's why I was talking about the redesign of this track earlier, because this actually used to be a notorious track for turn 1 race starts, making
because the first turn was so soon after the start?
No, it was just really sharp and really tight. So like they would try to go almost 3 wide into a corner and 3 cars don't fit across the width of the track that it used to be.
Okay.
What was the big one last year? It was Bottas, I think, smashed into the back of, it was right in turn 1. I think there was 5 or 6 people that were involved.
Oh, it was Turkey last year. Was it Turkey?
Yeah, I think so.
When Valtteri bowling balled through like 4 cars.
Yes.
And that's why Ocon won. Well, Alonso is the reason Ocon won, but that's why Ocon got in the lead.
Travis is trying to fit 10 pounds in a 5-pound bag, Greg.
Got it.
Yeah.
I was just showing this. Todd pointed this out to me last week or the last race or the race before to the lap chart that's on Formula One F1.com if you're interested, and it's pretty cool to see the positions change and stuff. But there's all sorts of interesting stuff on here that you can nerd out about. Like
lots of data.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
so Stroll is the only person that changed tires so far, it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Multiple times there. So he's back on the hards? No, he has 3 left. Sorry, 2 left. Yeah.
Yeah, that just shows how many of each compound they have left.
Yeah.
Oh, guys, this is a rabbit hole that I don't need to go down, but I'm going down it, and I'm enjoying every second of it.
Once you get into it, man, you're gonna enjoy it.
It's so fun, man.
I know. I'm already enjoying it,
And this is all like surface level stuff, because then there's all kinds of politics and BS and like
it goes
scandals
so
and
deep.
shit all the time.
Right. It's just crazy. I mean, luckily, it's something that I can enjoy without having to sink too much money into, as opposed to sneakers.
Totally.
Yeah.
Although
$2.99 a month or whatever it was.
when the urge hits you to buy merch, it's going to cost a whole lot more. For Formula One beer.
Nick,
That's a great
I was
point.
already looking at merch on the F1 site earlier tonight. So I see the danger.
Jersey thing, it's like super thin nylon material, like you wouldn't think super high quality. This was $90.
Right, exactly.
So ridiculous.
Still cheaper than the majority of sneakers can get out there.
Not if you're Barry or you.
Yeah.
Actually, your eBay steals are pretty ridiculous too.
Barry is my mentor, so the only reason I get away with that is because Barry sends me links every single morning, which I appreciate and love.
I need to get on that distribution list.
Yeah. We'll put you on the size 13 list, Nick.
Ooh, look at that porpoising going into what turn was that? Oh, 10-11. Really bad porpoising on the Ferrari going down that straight. I can't believe they do almost 60 laps of that.
So, okay, question about that. Porpoising is a term I've never heard before this year, and you guys keep talking about it. Why is that so prevalent in F1 this season?
Actually, before I tell you about that,
Okay.
Nick, the stream is frozen for me. I don't know if it is for everybody else.
It's for me as well.
But while we're fixing that, porpoising is the aerodynamics of the car stalling. So they changed the regulations this year.
Okay.
They used to look like transformers with all kinds of little winglets and flaps and crazy shit all over the car. And I'm sorry, I just saw myself on the stream over here and it distracted me.
You were surprised by how good you looked, obviously.
No,
You're looking svelte, sir, in that tight shirt.
Woo! Caught myself talking with my hands again. So porpoising. So they changed the regulation to create most of the downforce by it's think of like the way an airplane wing works, how it creates lift so a plane can fly.
Sure.
Just flip that over, right? So it's sucking the car into the ground.
Yeah. Okay.
They changed the regulations to do that this year. The problem is that when you get too close to the ground, that sucking thing gets too close to the ground, the air under there stalls, which loses downforce, so the car goes back up, and then it catches downforce again because it's not as close, and then goes back down, and it's a cycle.
So okay, so the new regulations have caused teams to not be able to keep up with the technology to stop that from happening, essentially.
So it's not a new thing. Like these types of cars that they changed the regulations to they're called ground effects cars. Oh, Perez just got past Hamilton, and now it's bye Red Bull. The ground effects cars is what they're called now, and they used to do ground effects in the 80s. So it's not a new thing, and porpoising has been an issue. It's in all types of motorsport.
Okay.
Like the closer the cars to get to the ground, this happens.
Do you feel like this season it's a bigger issue than it has been in recent seasons, I guess?
I kinda, but only because technology is so advanced now. They do all this testing and modeling, and like they do computational fluid dynamics, like CFD airflow models on the computer, and they do live wind tunnel testing to develop all these cars. There's like a lot of technology that goes into
now and go round him as if it's stalled.
developing these cars.
Vettel, who's only had 26 laps
Vettel's
around
off.
Albert Park this weekend before going into the race,
you,
and struggling
mute
to
the
stay on the track. Sebastian,
Stream. Nick?
Yeah.
He's the audio. There we go. Yeah.
There we go. Every time Rohit rejoins, his name is different.
Rolls.
Now we've had a shit stop of our own, so just making sure that that's taken care of.
What was your time on that?
Not fast enough.
No.
2.9 seconds. Shout out to Aaron in the chat,
Oh no.
our resident Red Bull fan.
Kept it off the wall though. Just
Oh
barely.
boy.
Mhm.
He at least didn't beach himself.
Yeah.
So he's now
Yeah.
in.
It's crazy that he hasn't even raced yet this year.
Yeah, I know. Third race of the season, and he's barely been in the car.
Why is I again not?
He got
not,
COVID.
Yeah, he had
Oh,
COVID.
this was the COVID guy. Okay.
Yeah.
I remember hearing you guys talk about that.
Yeah, he got COVID and still didn't test negative by the time the second race happened because it was only a week later. So
Right,
they had
right.
a sub driver, reserve driver drive for him.
So that's another, I guess, question that I had, or just something I noticed. So the first two races of this season were back-to-back weeks, but that's not always the case, right?
No, typically not, but they keep expanding the calendar and adding races like we have Miami this year, and then
Mm-hmm.
Vegas was added for next year. So they're getting moved closer and closer together. It used to be like a week, maybe two between races.
Yeah.
Right.
And
And I
now
would
it's-
I would have to imagine that takes a toll on a driver.
The whole
to-
team, everybody.
Sure. Yeah. Well. Yeah. Good point.
Oh,
to-
maybe.
to not have
Red
that
Bull
rest
doesn't-
in between.
Yeah. Crofty is currently talking about how everyone thought the Red Bull was going to be faster over race pace, as did I, but it looks like they're chewing through their tires a little bit faster than
Mhm.
Yeah.
the Ferraris are. Which is now a double bummer for Sainz being out because he probably could have worked his way through the grid from 10th to be at least a top 6 finish. And another surprising thing is Daniel, who's not known to have the same race pace as Lando, has been all over Lando's bumper, basically.
Yeah.
And they're both sticking with Lewis very close, or are sticking with George very closely. What's the gap? Show the time deltas, damn it.
5.3 to Verstappen, 9.6 to
So
Perez, 12.8 to Lewis.
So Norris is less than a second behind Russell.
Yeah. Ricciardo's less
And
than a second
Ricardo is a half a second behind him. They could get him. Yeah, I agree, Aaron. I think that group does have a DRS train going. which I haven't seen too many overtakes other than Checo's, although I'm distracted, so maybe I'm not seeing it.
Todd, explain a DRS train for people.
Oh, okay. So the idea of that DRS drag reduction system that we talked about earlier, if there's 2 or 3 cars all within a second to each other, or more, can be, sometimes it's more. If the lead car has enough pace to not get passed by the cars behind him, then it just turns into a train where the front cars has enough pace to stay ahead and the cars behind him have enough pace to stay within that 1 second. So they just keep, like, the car in second place in that scenario isn't getting passed by the car in third because he also has DRS. So they're all kind of going the same speed, and it just continues and continues in that. But yeah, this is looking a bit processional so far. Also, Latifi just pitted, and that's, I mean, I know their car's not good, but that's interesting that they're chewing through their tires that fast. And Rohit in the chat says, does the DRS train have any affiliations to the Quad City DJs? I don't know, but you should come on the train and ride it. Jackal in the chat says, so is it just a track, or did McLaren level up their pace like crazy? I think, from my uneducated opinion, that their car just suits this track, or the track suits their car pretty well because it's a lot of higher speed flowing corners. But I do think they took a step. I don't think they did any significant upgrades, at least from what I saw. Maybe some little stuff, but they don't. I just think it's the track suiting their car for a lot of high speed flowing corners. But they've looked good all weekend, so maybe they found some pace. Maybe they found some setup. They never suffered from the porpoising, really. So maybe they're starting to get around the downforce on the car a little bit.
Aaron's spot on with we all show our age with that music.
The reference.
Yeah. I think the white in my beard shows my age enough.
My man, I was looking at the side panels on the hairline today. I got some Doctor Strange stuff going on here.
Yeah, but you can pull it off, especially with that mustache and everything.
Oh, yeah. That's the new look. That's the new look for sure.
Greg, man, you gotta dress as like if you keep this look long enough, Halloween you gotta go as like some famous 70s rock star.
Frank Zappa, maybe.
Yeah.
Famous mustache.
Yeah.
Or maybe, I was thinking like 70s or 80s ball player, like a Wade Boggs or a Raleigh Fingers, something like that.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Raleigh Fingers is a good
Raleigh
one.
Fingers.
He's wiry like you are too.
Yeah, that's true.
It reminds me of that Almost Famous.
Yes.
We are.
Ooh, Haas.
Yeah, Almost Famous is the. That was the Rolling Stones movie, right? Yeah, the journalist kid. What's his name?
Yeah.
Oh no! Wow. I can't imagine.
Ooh. Little overzealous on the brakes there.
The recoveries that these guys make after a mistake like that is just so
their
impressive.
Reflexes are alien.
Yeah,
it's insane. Like, they all have to be the best Call of Duty players in the world on top of being the best F1 racers, right? Like,
yeah. I mean, I would imagine they would be top level gamers if they put the same amount of time into it.
Yeah. Just wild.
Let's look at the lap chart real quick. Okay, so besides the 2 DNFs, There's been 3 overtakes total so far.
Is that rare at this point in the
No.
race?
This track is kind of known for being a bit processional.
Okay.
Processional meaning that they're all just kind of driving around in a circle.
In their order that they're currently in.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why they made all these changes. And then they talked about the DRS zones and like the new strategy was going to help all that, but it's been pretty processional. Did Mick pit? Let's see. Let's check the tire.
I believe he
history.
did.
Did he?
I think
Drew?
so, yeah. One of the Haas racers did, yeah. I believe it was Mick.
Where is he? What position? Oh, he's in 18th. Man, Stroll's pitted twice.
Yeah. Latifi,
Already?
Schumacher, and Ocon have pitted. Stroll's pitted twice.
Wow.
That's crazy. I wish the live timing chart showed the delta like we see on screen on the left here now. That would be epic, but it doesn't. And I'm not smart enough to read to figure it out by their sector times. Oh, Verstappen's pitting.
You think it's for real or you think it's a fake out? Nope,
Yeah,
he's in
he's
the lane. There he is.
Oh, sorry. I guess I saw that early on the live timing screen.
Spoilers.
It's so wild how fast I changed that.
All right, fellas, I got to make a pit stop for myself here. BRB.
All right.
Sounds good. Where'd he drop to? 7th? Ooh, Andy's under attack.
Man, that would be crazy. Because if Alonso can get in front of him, he'd slow him up for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
These guys probably talk about that kind of thing. It's like the guys you don't want to fall behind after a pit. Alonso's probably top of that list.
Yeah.
Like, who's going to fight you the most in the middle of the pack? Alonso.
He'll do everything up until the dirty line and stop there. But he's so good at defense. It's crazy.
Yep.
Oh, there we go. Come on. Come on, Lewis, get in there. Oh, is there graining on Checo's front left? Oh.
That was the same issue Max had.
Yeah, but I thought Max's was rear grip.
Well, he locked up, though. Didn't he lock up? And one of the fronts was like...
Oh, you're right. You're right. Yeah. Man, I kind of wish they kept that 4th DRS zone in this time just to see what the heck would happen.
Yeah. We need to see like some sort of, since we can see everything else statistically in Formula One, we need to like how many flat spotted tires these guys go through, like create in a season. Who locks up the brakes the most?
Yeah. That would be a really fun stat, actually.
Yeah.
But very hard to figure it out because you'd have to watch every race 20 times.
Yeah, at least. Yep.
Checo in the pit.
All right, now we get a safety car and get Danny Rick a cheap pit stop. Lando pitting. All right. They've been really fast this year.
Yeah.
Oh, 2.4.
It's good stop for Lando.
Yeah. So the Mercs haven't pitted. Let's see who it is. Who's on there now?
Oh, there's no way Alonso pitted, right?
Top 4 haven't pitted. Verstappen in 5th has. Alonso, Gasly, Bottas haven't pitted. Perez has. And then Magnussen hasn't.
Yeah, 2.4 is definitely impressive for the McLaren.
Yeah. Which is fun, like crazy, because they changed the regulations again last year to stop all the automation in the pit stops.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I got fresh tires on, fueled up. Let's go.
Jackal said, with the hards, could this be a one-stop for Max? Yeah, probably, I would say. Yeah, Aaron said the same.
Well, they got almost a third race distance on the mediums.
Yeah. I mean, I think that it leaves them open to do either or, right? Like,
yeah, I think they know now that they don't have the pace to do.
Yeah.
Danny Rick's gonna get stuck. Oh god, that would have been heartbreaking if the Williams crushed.
So
no, they both got DRS on him. No, that's gonna ruin his race.
Can you guys
come on, Danny?
Clarify for me on the. I don't want to interrupt an important moment here. I'll save this question.
Gotta reset this real quick.
What was your question, Greg?
Okay, so I think we talked about this before, Todd, but forgive me for not remembering. But the amount of tire changes you can do in a given event has to do with the qualifying, the practice, and everything, right? So you're only allotted a certain amount of tires, and then whatever you have left is what you get to race on in the actual race, correct?
Yep, correct.
Okay.
So if you go out and practice and you burn through all your tires, you're pretty much screwed. Well, you're
done, right?
You have to keep 2 sets for the race, so you're required in the race to use two different compounds of tire.
Okay.
Being like the soft, medium, or the hard.
But in the practice and the qualifying, you're kind of feeling out what the best tires are going to be for the race, I would imagine, right? So
kinda, except when you get to the later parts of qualifying, they always go to the soft tire because that's the stickiest tire and will give you the best lap time.
And that's what they need for placement, right?
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, Charles pitted and still out in front of Russell because he had 20-something seconds on him.
Wow, Perez got past Lewis.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Safety car. Oh, shit.
What happened?
I don't know. Oh, jeez.
Oh. Come on, Seb.
Wow.
Oh, boy. What a mess.
That's lucky for George. That means he gets a cheap pit stop.
There's debris, though, so...
Wait, did he hit something? I thought his car just died.
I mean, they just kept... They cut to debris somewhere.
Oh, yeah. Here we go.
Freaking
Oh, they actually have dudes running out with brooms and leaf blowers.
Yeah.
I love that.
Wait, did it go red, Aaron?
Oh, into the wall. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh wow, you couldn't even see the front of his car from that.
Oh.
Damn.
Yeah, the wing.
Jackal, we're watching on F1 TV. Yeah.
Yeah, that was nuts.
Rear tires only have so much grip.
Yep.
So where's that put George? He's still in third after the pit stop. So has anybody not pitted yet? Oh, Alonso hasn't. And K-Mag. And Albon.
So if he pits right now, I guess the pits have to be open for him to right?
No, the pits are probably open.
Does he lose spots or does he go back to the order if he pits now?
No, he'll lose spots.
Yeah, George got a cheap one. Alonso didn't pit. Yeah, spot on, Aaron. So that Aston safety car's going to do more laps than race cars.
Oh. That's a fantastic burn.
So this is like when these charts get really interesting to me. You start to see all these like what the hell happened?
Yeah.
Rohit, the new Mazepin.
No, that's Latifi.
Man, Latifi. I mean, I don't know if it was his fault this weekend, but that was.
No, he crashed out in practice again. They rebuilt that car twice. Yeah.
Oh man, I didn't see practice this week, so.
Oh, that's cool. They have a car show out there.
Todd, have you been to Laguna Seca for any races? Oh, you went to IndyCar last year.
I went to IndyCar last year.
Do they have any like groups out there at the track?
Yeah, they had some. They had some classic racing, and they had a bunch of like super low level, like grassroots touring car type of stuff going on.
When we go for, I mean, it's usually like you know, sports car racing of some kind. They've always had like Honda groups and Porsche Club and all these like different little and everybody kind of gets a spot, like reserves their little spot throughout the track. It's pretty awesome.
I'd like to go to something not IndyCar because that's like one of the biggest races they have per year there. It was pretty crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we'll definitely be down there for other races. I don't know what the next one is, but I'll definitely put it into the Discord once we figure out when we'll be down there.
Let me know. It's close to me. Jackal, you're 100% right. It was Stroll's fault, not Latifi's.
Yeah.
And Aaron says Perez got around Lewis pretty easily, so wonder how George will do. I think Hamilton could get back past Perez.
Wait, Perez didn't have DRS and he still got around him that easy?
Yeah, I think
it just come out of the pit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which, as we know, in what was that, Bahrain, the Mercedes car does not warm its tires up very fast.
Mm-mm.
God, that safety car sounds good.
What would you give to drive that safety car? Anybody here on the call?
Would drive it where? Like to be the safety car driver?
Yeah, be the safety car driver on.
Oh, I wouldn't want that pressure.
No, that's too much.
Like,
no, because they got to keep that pace at such a crazy level.
Mm-hmm.
What speed does the safety car driver drive at?
So it's probably got to be between like 80 and 120 miles an hour.
Okay.
Right?
Who do they get to? Who do they get to drive those? Do they get ex drivers for that?
Yeah, they have racing drivers. It's a really old dude. I can't remember his name. How did Mick not just hit him right there?
I don't know. It was really close.
Yeah, good point, Jackal. Max hating having slow laps.
Wow.
Yeah. The
sting. Here it comes. Here it comes. It won't be DRS because it's safety car.
Yeah.
For 2 laps.
Damn, George is on him.
Alonso, if he has the pace on those tires still, that's crazy.
Oh, boy.
Holy cow.
Man, that would be cool for...
I have to point out, Julie predicted another Max does not
DNF
finish prediction. So we'll see.
We'll see what happens. She's 100% on her prediction.
She's 100% so far. Yeah.
I really hope she's wrong because my fantasy, I'll be in like dead last if that happens.
Did Russell have a podium? Yeah, he did.
Not
with Mercedes, no.
No, not for Mercedes. He got that like fake podium in Spa last year.
Yeah.
Because of the no race. Yeah, I can't believe he didn't hold, or I can't believe he held off Max there, Travis. That looked like a done deal.
Travis, next, I don't know when the next call is going to be, but I have one hell of a Ferrari pickup. Sneaker pickup, that is.
Ooh.
I got to share at some point. And not this shoe behind me, wherever it is.
Yeah, I want that.
Next call will be the 23rd or the 30th. Undecided at this point, but one of those dates.
I guess this counts as a Exhaust Notes community call.
Yeah,
we're going to have to do that, huh?
Absolutely.
How does Alonso still have pace
I have no clue.
How many laps is that? 28.
I mean, it doesn't seem too crazy, right? I guess he is. So
No, but like
Albon, Magnussen, and Alonso are all on 28 laps with their tires right now. All obviously on hards.
if Perez doesn't immediately pass him, he's like that Alpine's got some serious pace all of a sudden.
Jackal, we do community calls once a month, and sometimes that's combined with our trivia nights. So like tonight, earlier in the evening, we did a community call with Sneaker History Discord group. Probably about, I don't know how many people hopped on. Probably about 12 to 15 over the course of the evening.
Yeah, I'd say, yeah, give or take. And then trivia nights are typically towards the end of the month. Trivia lasts around an hour and a half. And then we generally stay on the call and chop it up until the wee hours. So,
yeah. And I don't think anybody's working at Nike right now, but we have a bunch of people that work in the footwear industry in the community. I can't think of any specific people at Nike.
Oh, I work for Nike. I can get you anything you want. It's easy.
Just wire him $1,000 first.
Yep, no problem.
Yeah.
No, come on.
All good, man. Jackal, just hop on the next one. We'll put it in the events in the Discord so you can see where it is.
Yeah, absolutely, Jackal. Love to have you on a call, man.
Yeah.
Aaron, I really like that graphic they just put up too. With like the shadow box around. They were showing Alonso and his speed, and they had like him highlighted with like fake lines around his car.
Yeah, what was up with that graphic there? Is that a new thing or?
Yeah, that was a new thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like it.
Man, the front edge of the floor on the Mercedes was glowing from scraping so bad.
Yeah.
I just noticed that.
It was hot.
That is crazy.
Hot.
You can see it in this replay right here. By the end of the straight, it's just glowing red.
Wow.
All right, let's check the lap chart again. Alonso's finally pitting.
Is he pitting?
No, he's just dropping places.
Yeah, he dropped. Hamilton and Perez got past him, huh? Yeah, I'm definitely down to chat about that, Jackal. I kind of work as a footwear industry consultant for the most part, so definitely happy to chat and see what you're interested in doing, and if I can connect you anywhere, I'll definitely do that.
But only if you leave us a review on our podcast.
And subscribe.
Where can we do that, Todd?
We're on all major platforms and Exhaust Notes FM. Exhaustnotes.fm is the website, and same thing for the Twitter, etc.
I owe you guys a podcast review for sure. I've listened to every episode, and only in the last 2 have I understood what you're talking about. So
that's faster than I understood it.
I still don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, Aaron said K-Mag's tire life is crazy. Yeah, he's on lap 32, and he's about to pass Alonso.
What tires did he start with? Do you guys know?
He's still on the same tires. He started on the
hard tires. Yeah,
he started on the hard. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I guess you would think that would be, well, depending on the track, but to go as long as you can on that hard set first, and then go with the grippier tires later in the race. Like, but I guess it's totally depending on the race, the track, like conditions, everything.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes into it, but like the basic principle is between the compounds. I think they said this weekend that between the compounds, the medium to the hard was like a half a second slower per lap.
Okay.
And the hard tire obviously lasts the longest because
Right.
it's the hardest.
Right.
The soft lasts the least. Also, Nick, or question for everybody, because I can't remember in recent memory, at least, Pirelli ever picking like a 2-step softer compound for a race. Did you notice that? They picked the C5, which was the softest, and then they picked the C3 and the C4, which every weekend I can remember in the last decade at least, it's always been in numerical order.
Yeah, that's actually a good question for Aaron.
Come on, Danny. Get past him. Stay on Lando's bumper.
Yeah, Travis said he hasn't seen it. Aaron said asked it was because of the new formula.
Yeah, I just don't know if they've ever done it before. That's what my
either.
question was.
I definitely don't remember.
Like they were saying, because of the new track surface, that was part of the decision. But I didn't know that they actually could do that. I thought it had to be in numerical order. Oh, okay. Ricardo got past K-Mag, so we're still in. Alonso has pitted now, right? Tire history. He still hasn't pitted.
Yeah, 34 laps. Magnussen and Albon both.
They're just praying for a safety car at this point.
Yeah.
Oh, here comes Perez.
Ooh. That's pretty crazy.
You never want to hear that in a race.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, Travis. Definitely not what George wants to hear. I mean, it's just crazy that these teams can see all that stuff, right? Okay, they know. Whoa, they know just how precise everything is calculated. That they've got to tell him it's better to let him pass.
Yeah. Oh, George lit the rear up on that. Maybe I'll get back past him on down the main straight. That'd be fantastic.
Imagine how Rex react to a message like that. Yeah. Close, throw it. Close.
Aaron, that's a good question, but I think Lewis is what, like 4 seconds back? What's the delta right now? Oh, it's 2.8 seconds back. I don't think he'll want to get within DRS and hurt his tires. Especially if the pit wall is already talking about tire management. They're probably telling it to both of them.
Yeah.
Man, Ricardo, they just need to let Ricardo pass. He's obviously faster if he's within a second the entire time. Like this whole race so far. Maybe this is payback for Monza last year. Oh, that was a little weaving from Stroll.
I mean, maybe the 4-stop strategy is actually worth considering. He's in 12th.
He did. Is he? He hasn't stopped 4 times.
Yeah.
Tire history. 3 times.
Oh, no. Looking at tire history?
Yeah, I'm looking at tire history. Look all the way to the right column. It says pit.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
There's 4 sets of tires, but
yeah,
three pit stops. Yeah, that was definitely weaving. Stroll's about to get himself a penalty.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Julie?
What?
Oh!
Julie did it again.
Julie did it again.
Yo.
Issue.
Oh, wow.
Red Bull powertrains.
Yes, power unit.
Wow.
Oh,
God damn it.
my
Julie is a fucking soothsayer.
Yeah,
That
he's
is
out of the
insane.
car.
How does she know, Travis? I have no idea. Wow.
Rohit, bless his heart.
Oh, it's on
Julie
fire.
does have magical powers,
Wow.
man.
Julie,
That's
please
crazy.
stop doing that.
Powers,
That's
straight up.
really screwing up my fantasy team.
Yeah, Julie, when you watch this, or if you're listening or watching, could you just predict a couple of Lando podiums for me?
Yeah.
She's like the Oracle of Formula One.
It's so insane.
She's a
Jackal,
Verstappen stopper.
Julie is in the Discord. She's awesome and apparently has premonition. So
Yeah.
The Verstapper.
Max Verstappen.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was on fire, kind of like Pierre's was the first race.
Oh yeah, that's a good call. But that
So that's
oh no,
what,
Pierre's.
two?
They were talking about the fuel pump issue, right?
That's 2 for him on this season, right?
Yeah.
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 Man.
But that doesn't mean necessarily that that the engine's actually trashed. It just something blew up, obviously.
Right.
Oh man, K-Mag with the marathon stint on those hards just pretty much kept himself in the top 10. Oh, never mind.
I'm messaging Julie in the Discord right now because that's just too insane.
It's too bad she's not
if she's not watching, she might not want to know that yet.
You know what? You're right. Thank you, Nick. Good point.
I almost texted her and I was like, well,
oh,
planning to watch this in the morning.
Yeah.
I should not.
Can we put it in the Discord as a spoiler? Julie is an oracle.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, spoiler filter on that.
Was this full safety car or was this virtual?
Virtual.
Yep.
Okay. Because I was like, why isn't Max right on his bumper? So what's the deltas we got? Norris is 10 seconds behind Hamilton. That's not happening.
Yeah. Danny Rick could get ahead of Norris for sure.
They should. They're not going to let him though. That's the
race,
problem.
Yeah. But like Aaron said, 10 through 16 is pretty tight.
Yes.
What's that?
Row.
Nick, what'd you say?
Aaron said earlier, 10 through 16 is pretty tight. So like basically even from Ocon all the way to actually Albon all the way to Yuki is a 6-second difference, right?
Yeah, I see that. Ooh, Alonso could make up some places here. Which is just even more painful because I dropped him for this week.
Yeah, Lewis is under 2 seconds behind Russell at this point, too.
Unless one of their tires start to go off, I really don't see.
Oh man, looks like Bottas got pushed off.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Man, Stroll's just not having a good weekend. Yeah, that's a penalty. He's already under investigation for the weaving.
Yeah.
Okay. Millionth newbie question. What's the actual penalty for that?
So if you're making a pass, you have to leave room, a car's width, essentially room on the inside or outside. So like if Lance dove up the inside there, he has to leave at least a car's width on the outside to give the guy space to stay on track. And he obviously didn't because he ran into him.
So what is the actual penalty for that? Is it just time?
Yeah. It can be time. It can be a actual grid drop penalty. So when they finish the race, they'll just say 3 place grid drop.
You're 3 places behind, whatever. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's usually time. That could be like a stop and go penalty. I mean, there's a bunch of different ones, but that was pretty aggressive. Plus, he's already under investigation for weaving on the straight, which can be a 5-second penalty by itself. So,
gotcha. So it could be pretty severe then. All right.
Yeah. Or maybe in conjunction with the other one.
Right.
Could put him in last.
Is that a thing where they will combine like?
No, but they'll
penalties
if somebody does something stupid twice, they will penalize both things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Checo asked on the radio what was the problem with Max,
Yeah.
and the team responded with, "Don't worry about Max. It has nothing to do with our car."
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Oh, there you go. See, 5-second penalty for Stroll already, and
He's
then
popped with
the
another.
bump is probably going to be another 5 seconds there.
Huh.
Yeah, so that's another interesting point. Like, I've never seen a driver have this many points on their record. But if he gets penalized for the Bottas incident, then
Will that put him at 12?
I think that puts him at 12, right? It either puts him at 11 or 12. And
Oh, wait, no, they got more penalty points this year. I think it's 15
they
now.
did.
Mhm.
So he's out of top 10. That means Gasly's in.
So, okay, why is that weaving that he did there a penalty?
You can make one move. So think about
Ah.
it. If you were driving a car
Uh-huh.
and somebody was trying to pass you and you were just weaving back and forth, they're not going to try to pass you because they're just going to run into you.
Right, right.
So
I
like you
see.
can make one movement. So you have to like guess which way they're going to go.
I see.
And you can
I
make
see.
one movement left or right. And then if the guy
Wow.
does what's called a dummy and goes one way and then
Psychs
goes
you
back
out.
the other way.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, the rules are so intricate. I had no idea. I had no
Yeah,
idea.
it's crazy.
It's great.
Gets pretty involved.
I love it.
Wait, did they say no penalty?
Yeah, they said no penalty.
Oh man.
Yeah,
I agree, Ro. This season has started off with a
insane.
bang. No pun intended.
Yeah,
It's
and Greg, all those rules, like, really what it comes down to is safety, right? Like,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
if a rule is in place that somebody can weave once to block and not a second time, then they allow the racing to that certain point without-
Yes, a little warning from his own team there for Lance Stroll.
We've got that on.
Down the straight we go with Pierre Gasly, who's got DRS behind Stroll.
I would have expected a penalty on the Bottas thing, though.
Yeah.
Trav, you don't need any help in fantasy. Okay.
I assume,
Yeah.
I don't know, but I assume Travis has won every single fantasy league in sneaker history at this point.
Yeah, he basically has, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Rohit, did he
Got it.
win? Travis, did you win football fantasy? Were you in football fantasy? I didn't do football fantasy.
It wouldn't surprise me in the slightest.
Yeah, Rohit, a driver can be disqualified from a race in real time.
Ooh.
Travis won that too. Yep. See.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, I don't remember who's leading our F1 fantasy league, but it's definitely not any of the hosts.
It's definitely not me.
Well,
He's
I
also
did.
teaching me
I
English
did
for
not
stuff.
participate in that this year, but I will definitely be doing that next year, and I cannot wait.
Yeah, I hope so.
It's actually
I hope we
really
have
fun.
Oh yeah, I'm down. I am so down.
Man, the grid.
Go ahead, Todd.
No, I was gonna say the Grid Rival app is so much better. Their point system is better. Their like strategy is better than the F1 official one, but it's just so buggy. I don't think I can recommend it for next year.
Yeah.
Is that what you guys are using this year?
We're using the F1 official one this year.
Okay.
Like we did last year. But yeah, the Grid Rival one is like unofficial, but has so many better
options,
like, qualities about it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I get messages like notifications on my phone from other leagues that I'm not even in, and like when you sign up, your password becomes your username.
Ooh, what?
Yeah,
that seems
yeah,
seems backwards. All right.
Speaking of which, thanks for the bank logins, Rohit.
Aaron says he's winning at Grid Rivals though, so we'll keep it.
Yeah, I'll definitely do it again. I just don't know if we can make that the official league for next year.
Yeah. By the way, Alex Albon is on lap 46 on his hard tires.
He still hasn't stopped?
Still has not stopped.
That's insane.
Yeah, but he's got Ocon on him, 0.8, like less than a second behind.
Yeah.
And Stroll's going to get a drop down.
I mean, at this point,
Stroll...
he's got to be just praying for a safety car. Right? It's the only thing that helps him in any way.
He'll drop to last place with a pit. No Nigerian prince. Although, Rohit, I don't know if you're aware, there's actually a F1 scandal related to a Nigerian prince also. So hopefully we can get into that.
Great episode for a podcast.
Yeah. There's so many scandals.
Yeah.
So what placements get points to the overall season?
You have to finish in the top 10 to get points.
Top 10 points, okay.
Leader gets like 25, second place gets like 18, I think. And then it's certain denominations down from there. 10th place gets 1 point. And then the fastest lap of the race gets a point, but it has to be by one of the top 10 drivers.
All right. What lap do you need to declare your red card to double your points? Sorry, that was a bad sneaker history trivia joke.
I wish we could build our own fantasy league and do rules like that.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing.
I mean, we could probably.
Yeah, Rohit, he has to pit. Otherwise, I believe he'll get disqualified.
Yeah. You have to run 2 sets of tires, basically. But otherwise, he doesn't. Oh, Aaron said for Albon, if he doesn't pit, they just add time to his total.
So you don't actually have to use 2 tires during the race, huh?
I thought you did. I thought it was in the rules that you had to use 2 tires.
Huh.
Aaron, quote me the regulation, buddy. If what you're saying is true, that's mind blown. Yeah, I agree with you, Rohit.
Encouragements, Lance Stroll from his race engineer, Ben.
I agree that Albon is auditioning for that second AlphaTauri seat because I don't think Yuki's going to turn it around.
Yeah, I don't know.
So you're right, Rohit. Ocon did go an entire race on the same tires last year because it was a wet race and you don't have to change tires. Like the tire rules go out the window on a wet race.
What do you mean by wet race? Does that mean it's raining?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay.
So they have different tires for for wet races that have like tread on them, so like dissipate the water.
And then, so all tire regulation rules just go out the window at that point?
Yeah, they don't have to. You're not forced to use two different compounds because, like, if you think about it, there's like one wet tire for really heavy water, and then there's one wet tire that's for like lighter rain.
Sure.
And if it's super heavy, like rain the whole race, they're not going to like force them to go on like the less good tire.
So it's like riding your bike to work every day in Portland. I get it. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I wonder who does that.
I have no idea.
Gasly getting past. So what's your guys' overall opinion? Did the track changes help?
I'm still just in awe of this entire sport, so I have no opinion.
I mean, I think it's been a good race. There hasn't been much passing, but it's probably slightly better.
Do you feel like the do you feel like it's just because of the crashes in the safety cars and chaos that it was a good race? Because like the passing.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a boring race, to be honest, right? Like at the top, but like, I think that's the thing. Like, it's just there's a lot of, I don't know. There's a lot of like midfield stuff. I know that's not the way that racing is supposed to work, but like the interesting stuff is literally like 5 to 15 to me.
Yeah, well, it's been like that for so long. I think we're kind of conditioned to like, let's look at all the battles in the midfield, because it does feel like a lot like 2018 Hamilton when he was just 20 seconds in front of everybody.
Yeah.
Which I think Charles is he's 20 seconds ahead of Perez.
So remind me who won the last race?
Max won the last race.
So Red Bull won the last one, and then who won the first race?
Ferrari.
That was
Charles
Ferrari.
Leclerc.
Okay. And they're okay. Got it. All right.
Yeah, Aaron called out like the track changes did not help. He liked the old version better. I kind of agree that chicane that used to be turn 6-7 or 6-7 or 8-9, I think would have actually helped with the new regulations for passing.
So where is the DRS zone that you were saying if they had the fourth DRS zone?
It's that really long. I'll call it out when they're coming up to it. They just hit turn 1 right now. It's the really long curve. So they're about to do a hard right here, and then a left, and basically after this right here, this whole thing is now right there, starting there basically.
Gotcha.
Would have been, or no, sorry, from here on. I'm all over the place. From here on, this whole long ass curve would have been a DRS zone. Oh, don't show the replay.
Interesting spot on the track for
it. And what is the penalty if you do use that in that area? Is that time again?
No, you like the driver could press the button on his wheel to open up the flap, but if it doesn't, like there's like transmitters in the car that know
it doesn't actually allow it.
Yeah, there's like little transmitters in the car that know whether or not the driver is within a second.
Wow. Oh, holy cow. I had no idea. That's crazy. Yeah. That's some insane technology, actually.
Yeah.
That's very impressive.
The medium tires absolutely
great point, Travis. It's like mind blowing.
I don't think we'll see any more pit stops. Rohit. Also, going back to our earlier chat, Aaron texted me or text us a screenshot from a Wikipedia page that says if the driver doesn't stop, they get a time penalty added at the end, equivalent to a stop and go penalty, which would be like 20-ish seconds. So I guess we're about to find out. Yeah, Jackal, they have really crazy advanced electronics on board because they have to know their GPS positioning down to the like millisecond, because you see that like during qualifying they're all timing, they were like 1/1000th of a second off of each other during qualifying, and that's all done by these transmitters on the car.
There's nothing they could do about it, was there?
Now here comes Hamilton whining about, oh, we did see a pit stop.
You know, when they're going to hit the wall. But there was no, you know, it's just the cards fell for George.
Does he mean these pit
How are we getting
overtake George Russell?
echo now?
No, we haven't. Well, they want to hold station for a bit. Is that potentially the?
Oh, it's true. Anyway, they're not letting my boy race. You're right, Rohit. What the hell was I saying? Oh, the transmitters also do the like broadcasting the TV from the cars, as we're seeing an onboard from Pierre right now. That's all.
The onboard cameras it's on the same system. Okay.
Yeah, it's all done on the same system. And I was watching YouTube about this. They have like a crazy powerful like Wi-Fi. Like a normal Wi-Fi is like 2.5 gigahertz. The one at the racetrack, they set up all these like repeaters around the track, and I think it's like, I want to say it was like 20 or 30 gigahertz. It's like their own signal that they have to set up this temporary mesh network.
That makes sense, because you wouldn't want outside interference. So
yeah, 3 laps to go. I think we're seeing what we're seeing. I wonder why Alonso stopped. Does anyone know? Drop it in the chat.
Yeah, I didn't see anything.
Oh, just he ate through his tires again. I mean, he was going pretty hard. He hates Travis's fantasy domination. That's so good.
Yeah.
I mean, he kind of has to. He kind of has to pit just to like not put himself in danger, but and be in the way of other cars that are passing him the way they were, essentially, in my opinion.
Yeah, he was dropping.
Yeah, that's a good point. Aaron said for the newer guys too, a lot of the tech in supercars, et cetera, came from Formula One, hybrid systems, KERS, that kind of stuff.
That's true. The LaFerrari has its own KERS system.
Yeah. Basically, Formula One and like, you know, sports cars, the highest level of sports car racing, right? Which is like more covered wheel bodies, like the hybrid stuff or the green energy stuff has been a huge thing for them for, you know, the last like 2 decades.
Yeah. Trav, it makes me feel a little bit better about dropping him now, because I was I was hurting all weekend for that. Oh, and I dropped him for Bottas, who's now currently in 9th. So, yay me. Get a fantastic 2 points for that. can't wait to see what the post race is going to look like for both Merck and McLaren, because both of their, I guess you could call them second drivers, were within striking distance of their teammates for a lot.
Yeah.
How rare is it for most of the grid to only need to stop for one stop for the race? Wait, why the hell is Albon stopping? What the hell is Albon doing?
Wait, he pitted?
Yeah, on the second to last lap.
Is it? I mean, is it possible he knew his tires would just not last?
Yeah, I mean, there is threat of like delamination. We saw that a few times last year.
Yeah,
where the tire literally just explodes.
Right.
I must have gotten to that point.
That's very, very unfortunate then, because I mean, shoot.
And there's so many good questions in chat right now. Yeah, Jackal, if you're in the lead of the race and you get behind a back marker or somebody that you're lapping and you're within 1 second, you're still allowed to use DRS.
Yeah.
And going back to Rohit's earlier question, it is super common for one-stop races to happen depending on the track and the track surface. Get in there, George.
Wow, he went to softs and scored points, right?
Oh, God, he did. No, he got on the mediums. Oh, no, they said, the graphic changed. They said mediums earlier.
That was awesome. That's so awesome. I mean, I just love when teams, drivers just figure out ways to get around all of it.
You know what the craziest part about this is? Mercedes is still going to be second in the constructors after this race.
Yeah.
That's
just looked at this.
All right, Team Papaya.
So do you think that comes from the team or do you think that comes from Albon? Who was the first one to be like, look, I can make it 50-something laps on these hard tires?
It has to be.
Yeah, Travis, it
has to be the team.
Strategy. It's always interesting to see all the dust and stuff that they kick up on these last laps, like
like off the racing line.
Yeah.
Man, if that doesn't solidify that Checo is the second driver, I don't know what does. They're just like, yeah, good job, P2, whatever. Figured out.
Yeah. I agree, Rohit. It might be more impressive than anything George did with the Williams. It's just so wild because you just would never think of it. I mean, we talked about it multiple times, just going, what's he doing? Like, why is he
not? I'm going to disagree, actually, Rohit. The lap that George did in Spa last year with Williams that was, second or third slowest to put it on P2 in the wet, no less. I think that's more impressive. But, geez, that's
Pretty
Man.
crazy.
Yeah.
So for Todd's Todd and Aaron, the people that don't actually understand this is why people don't like Australia, right? So this chart basically just shows you.
Yeah, so
Leclerc.
that looking at that chart, you can count the overtakes.
Oops. Oh man, I missed it. There we go.
You can count the overtakes. Obviously, the ones that drastically drop are when they pit stop. And then if the dot itself stops on the graph, that means that the car died.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's man, that Albon overtake right at the end there.
But seeing that one straight line at the top basically means it was a boring race for most people. Right? To your point
Not
about being ahead for 20 seconds.
Well, yeah, that's
By
the
20
thing.
seconds, yes.
If he was 2 seconds ahead that whole time, it would have been an exciting race.
Yeah. Yeah. True.
But yeah, 20 seconds ahead. Also, if you guys want to look at the race and how it went again, there's a YouTube channel called F1 Visualized. And it's just little 8-bit emoticons of the cars, and it shows you when they pit, when they overtake, that whole strategy, and it's kind of an easier way to understand what that graph says.
Look at Bottas. Fastest car in Sector 2. Second fastest car in Sector 3. Whoa. So crazy.
Damn it, he's handsome.
Are you talking about Drew?
Yeah, I am actually.
I get it. I get it.
I don't know how you just knew that.
Yeah.
While we're looking at.
Well, I was looking at Drew the whole time.
Yeah. No, I was looking at Charles Leclerc. He shouldn't be that talented and that good looking. It's not fair.
Drew is the American Science.
Agreed.
Well, you're a Merc guy, Drew. How do you feel about what we
what
just
do you think,
witnessed?
Drew?
Yeah, I think this is the first race. I guess you call it a fluke, maybe with all the DNFs, and the second race, it's pretty tough. And Max did DNF in this, but they looked a lot better, I think, in this race than the previous two, in my opinion.
Yeah, their race pace during pre-practice looked stronger, I guess, than their qualifying pace.
Yeah.
But it's cool for George to finally legit be on a podium when it wasn't a fake.
Right. Yeah, the real deal.
Yeah. But damn, Sainz spinning out. That hurts Ferrari pretty bad in this constructors.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree, Aaron. Aaron said it's a boring race when you need to have accidents or incidents causing the excitement, but that's also just the excitement of Formula One. We all kind of love a little bit when somebody spins out or crashes, assuming they're okay. We don't want to see Grosjean incidents.
Yeah.
Every week.
It's tough too because obviously after last year, you also don't want that to happen any more than it has to, right? Like the more that
Oh yeah, like you don't want the
Oh.
person crashing out to cause someone else to lose a race.
yeah,
What's mind blowing to me as somebody very, very new to this sport is the fact that that doesn't happen more often, you know, and that I guess just speaks to the amount of talent behind the drivers, right? Well, I guess just the entire team probably, but going that fast and having to make these minute, tiny changes in your driving throughout the race and not causing like a potentially fatal accident is just mind-boggling. Like I don't understand how a human being does that, but they're doing it, and it's just incredibly impressive. And yeah, it just adds to the excitement of this sport, I think.
Yeah, driving, up to 200 miles an hour for 2 hours, hour and a half, whatever it is.
Unreal.
The accuracy that they do is
truly. I mean,
it's staggering.
As a guy that drives for a living for 10 hours a day, and fingers crossed, has not been in an accident yet. I can't imagine doing it at triple the speed that I drive on a daily basis. It's just wild.
Yeah.
pretty crazy.
I think aside from orange, red seems to be the most popular colour.
Thanks, bro.
It really has been great having you, Greg, to ask the questions, because I think that's the one thing that, like, we talk about it, right? Like, even when we're doing the podcast, like, it's great to have Rowett just like fairly new to it. When Todd and I might not even think about most of the things that people actually are wondering about.
Rowett's knowledge dwarfs mine, and I know that he's relatively new to this sport as well. But I'm happy to be that audience surrogate for this. I find it all fascinating, and I've really been enjoying it. And I want to give a big thanks to you guys for being so gracious with your knowledge and sharing of it. And bringing me and many others into this sport. This has been a really fun and exhilarating ride. So appreciation for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
For me, it's like I've been watching F1 for a really long time, and it's always just been kind of me nerding out to myself. So like I'm so happy about this whole, like, like people always get mad about like all these bandwagon fans coming on, like, oh, I've been around, like, gatekeep around it a little bit. I'm so ecstatic that there's all these, quote unquote bandwagon fans now, because I have people to talk to about it. It's like me talking to a wall for the last, 10, 15 years.
Well, I think we can all probably relate to that a little bit in the sneaker history community with that and sneakers. I would imagine there's some parallels there.
There's probably way more gatekeeping in sneakers, right? Like,
there probably is, yeah.
I think it's just
you didn't like this shoe before.
F1's just so intimidating, right? Like it's just there's just so much.
It's almost impenetrable because there really is. Like I asked 1,000 questions tonight, and I have a billion more, and it's. I guess I don't feel intimidated because I have you guys as my shamans in this, which I appreciate so much. You can hike me up the mountain and back down. but I'm very excited to learn all I can in the sport. It's just thrilling to me. This is awesome, man. I love it. It's great.
I'm more excited for your enthusiasm than you are.
Appreciate that, Todd. Thank you.
You know what the most exciting thing about this race was? It's kind of a boring race, a little bit processional, but there's 3 different teams on the podium, which we haven't seen in a really long time. Granted, there was DNFs. Max probably would have been there without the DNF, but it's like,
shout out Julie for the prediction.
Yes.
Well, yeah. Thanks for cursing Max again, Julie.
Julie, you're gonna have to post these predictions like a week in advance so people can change their fantasy teams and such.
Exactly. I mean, Aaron's probably pissed, but he'll forgive you at some point. Might not be this season, but
yeah, I don't know how he's feeling. He does have a good point. Newer F1 fans. Yeah. Oh, you have it on screen there. Yeah. I mean, like going through Sebastian's 4 titles in a row and then on to Lewis's domination with the one off year.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think about, like, we have, Max is a champion and now we have a potential new champion this year. It'd be so good to like.
So in your guys' opinions, like is somebody getting into it now? Is this a good time to do it because of, well, I guess there's 1,000 different factors, right? But as far as the sport as you guys know it, has there been like a dominant team, and now we're in an era where things are being shaken up and there's new contenders?
Well, yeah, there's been the most two recent or like the last decade plus has been essentially one team dominating. So Red Bull did it 4 years in a row. Sebastian Vettel won 4 titles in a row.
Okay.
And then they changed the regulation to kind of stop that from happening. And they went to what's called now the turbo hybrid era. So they put these turbo hybrid engines in the cars. And Mercedes just knocked it out of the ballpark and has won since then 8 constructors championships in a row and 8 drivers championships in a row, with their other driver, Nico Rosberg, in 2016, I think, winning the driver's title from Lewis.
Yeah, I think so. 2016.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a fantastic point, Rohit. Yeah, Max. the more Max blows up in DNFs, he's gonna turn into Max from last year. It is weird that he's been pretty well behaved racing against Charles so far.
I mean, he doesn't have years of animosity towards
Charles. But he does.
The way he did. I mean, he does, but he had like 3 straight years of losing to Lewis. Right? Like, it was literally he was behind Lewis and Bottas. So, I mean, to me, that like kind of came out last season, right?
Yeah. But
I mean, yeah, I don't know. He's look, it's I think, to Travis's point, to Aaron's point, right? Like, you can't, like, it's fun to like have Julie predicting DNFs and all that stuff, but it's definitely not fun to have any drivers not DNF or even, like something that puts them off, that's based on the car as opposed to their own skill set, right? If they make mistakes, it's one thing, but if they can't have a reliable car, that's not enjoyable for me as a fan. I don't, regardless of who I'm wanting to win, like, it's fine right now in the early parts of the season, but if you think about like the last race of last year, had one of the top cars just not ran and not finished the way they did at the beginning of this year, it would have been super disappointing. We would have all been like, well, we didn't get to see the races that we wanted to see, So
that's a good point. But also, like, that's part of the sport and that's what makes it such a team sport, because there's like 800 people working on building the car, developing the car, whatever. So,
which is hard to kind of really fathom when you're seeing a driver in a car for 2-3 hours a race by himself, essentially, right? Like you don't think about the other people that had to do, like, that's the thing though. Like, you're talking about 20 cars, and potentially the top 15 or 20 are 20 seconds difference, 30 seconds difference total by the end of the race. And so you've got like those 12 guys that are changing tires, bringing the car in for a pit. Every one of those people has to do their job in order for that car to continue on and win a race. So
right.
There's so many things. It's crazy because we don't really have that in any other sport, right? It's like, if you think of baseball or something, right? Like a pitcher could be dominant and a team can lose. Pitcher can be dominant and a team can win with one home run. Basketball, a guy like Michael Jordan or LeBron James or whoever can take over a game, and the rest of the team really doesn't have to do a whole lot. Football is the same way, right? Like, one or two players can take over and they don't have to rely on the rest of the team. Yeah, they do to a certain extent. I'm not saying that they can't, do anything, but I don't know. I'm just rambling. But I think it's interesting to be able to watch all this stuff and be reminded of all the people that actually have to do things right in order for them to get to that point.
Yeah. It's funny, speaking to that, like, you think, I learned this relatively recently within the last few years, that the guys doing the pit stops, that's not their only job in Formula One. They do, they're like data engineers or mechanics or whatever. Like, their job during the race is to be the pit stop guys, but like their job
outside of that, they have other tasks they have to
attack, so like you would think that teams would just go hire like a bunch of like
super pro pit stop guys, basically,
like an NFL corner who's just jacked and can like lift up a tire with one finger, and just like sling it around, and like these guys are just like average Joes. That's why they always like keep in shape during the race weekends.
Todd, Aaron made a good point. The engine penalties. Can you explain that?
Yeah, so you're allowed 3 engines, or each car is allowed 3 engines per season. And if you go over that, there's a 5-place grid drop for each additional engine.
Oh. And so you're allowed to replace it again, but there's just a penalty behind that. So it's not like you're out for the season.
No, yeah. If you blow, because like Alonso, we talked about him a lot tonight. Alonso he's on his 3rd engine for this race. He's already replaced it twice.
Wow. In 3 races, he's on his 3rd.
Yeah.
Wow, that is crazy. Okay, so is there any penalty or regulation that would kick somebody out of the season completely for like the rest of the year?
The only if they get disqualified, well, it depends. I don't think there's ever been like something happening in a season that's been that aggressive, but I saw like in karting, a driver got wrecked out in karting and then ran back on the track and threw a piece of his car at another driver, and he got disqualified for life. But like nothing like that has ever happened in Formula One.
But it was the driver specifically, not the team or whatever, right?
Yeah. And then fun fact, after the race, he went into the paddock and attacked the same guy again in the paddock.
Oh my God. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Yikes. Yeah. Go to therapy, my man.
Seriously.
Work out your anger issues.
Yep.
Yeah. One last thing. Aaron saying that they should have had even more allotment for engines last season. He's talking about Mercedes specifically last season replaced their engine, I think, like 7 times on Lewis's car. and kept taking 5-place grid drops, but it was so fast that he could make that up during the race.
It's just not an issue, huh?
I think that it should be an even. They should maybe give him 4 or even 5 engines, but past that, it should be a big. They should be starting from the back of the grid or something. Because
you think there should be a bigger penalty if you're going?
Well, yeah, because
deep.
if that was the case, if that replacing the Mercedes engine made it so fast every race, they could just qualify first, start from 5th and make it up,
and then just make it up every single time, right? So yeah. I get that. God, there's so much into this fucking sport, you guys.
Totally. Well, one of the things that Travis mentioned too, and I mean Todd might have mentioned this a little bit too, but I think the interesting thing about coming into it, your question earlier, Greg, coming into it now, you get to see all of these teams are like, it's almost like it's not a fresh start, but like it is as close as we will ever see to a completely fresh start for Formula One, in my opinion, this season. Because not only are you changing cars, regulations, on top of that, we changed race directors, like we changed a ton of personnel. I just don't see that happening on the level it happened. It'll be another 10 years, right? Well, it was
right
14 years of this or 12 years of this previously, right? Without major changes. So, the only things that might change now are going to be like, okay, maybe we get more races, or maybe we get more drivers or another team or whatever that is. And those are big changes, don't get me wrong. But like literally these cars are completely different than last year's cars. And you can see Ferrari being up front and like having that, you can see Haas being, competitive. You can see the kind of, I mean, it's hard to say Mercedes is struggling, but it's struggling compared to winning every race like they did the last 8 years. Mm-hmm. But like every team is dealing with something different, right? Even Red Bull having failures is not something that we're used to at all. So, I mean, it's like the perfect time to become a fan because you're getting to see all this. And if you watch for 2 or 3 years, you'll be able to see what teams progressed and what drivers got better and what drivers just never got on and what teams just never developed, right?
I mean, I'm pretty grateful for your guys' enthusiasm for this sport and roping me into it because I'm very excited about the whole thing, and I feel like I randomly picked a good time to jump into it because it seems very exciting, and I just am really hungry to learn all that I can in this next year. It's been thrilling, and appreciate you guys very much being a guide into this sport. It's been awesome, man. I gotta say.
Yeah. Well, I'm just happy to have good racing again, and to what Aaron said earlier. Yeah, the regs are changing again in 26. New engines, and
do you know what they're going to?
Yeah, so it's just a new engine development. The idea is to get more and more eco-friendly. Like they changed to the E10 fuel this year to get a little bit more eco-friendly, which is funny considering that like California gas is required to be at least E10.
Yeah.
So it's like that's their step towards eco-friendly. But like I think it's going to be some sort of synthetic fuel, not like petroleum produced. Maybe, I don't know. That's the rumor right now. But Porsche's been working on it for a long time and hasn't been able to come up with something viable.
Mm-hmm.
But
I mean, to your point, or whoever, I think Aaron mentioned it, but like that conversation to me is something that people that are not like if you're not deep into being a fan of racing, you don't realize like a lot of the things that happen to the major changes I think that happen for automotive, for common use, consumer use automotive, start in some form of these racing bodies, right? Like whether that's Formula One or FIA Sports or WEC or something like that. I think that's kind of going to be interesting too, to see like how the if Formula One were to not that they're going to go full electric, but right, like we all kind of watch this because it's traditional racing, but Formula E has been growing slowly and steadily for the past like 3 years. Like I've seen people talking about it, and I never used to see people talking about it. So to me, that's kind of like, what are those next things? Like, is Formula One going to be the race, body that replaces fuel, like traditional fuel? Like at some point, if they do it right, that's kind of why, in my opinion, on the street cars, the fuel cell vehicles, never really picked up the way that some of the other alternative fuels and the electric cars did, because they didn't get the backing. And I went to watch when IndyCar came to Detroit a few years back when I was out there. I went to watch like some of the fuel cell races, because they did them downtown around downtown, as opposed to like at the actual racetrack. But like the cars are not fast, like it's like a really interesting, like, we're trying this out to figure it out, but like this level,
what's not fast? I mean, I don't know what they run at.
I mean, like, just like, I don't know, like maybe, just think of it's like more experimental, or just like a showcase of like, hey, we're making these things and we're trying to show. Like, I watched some solar powered racing, for instance. And like, those cars are just kind of wild looking. So it's like all these people just trying to be a part of it and do something with it. And I think that's like you're not going to get to the pinnacle of what can be done with those kind of races, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But you can with Formula One or some of these other high end or like top level sports car races. And if somebody can figure out how to like get us off depending on oil, that'd be a beautiful thing, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Even though I love the smell of gasoline and I love the sound of a car starting up, I also realize, like, if we can exchange that for something else, it's probably for the best.
Yeah.
I think it's going towards electrification. Like everything it's going to happen. And Formula E is super cool and exciting to watch. Like you said, it's not as fast, but I think that's the future, and we'll just deal with it as it comes. Like, maybe by the time electrification takes over in 2035 or whatever, it'll be, it's 200-mile-an-hour electric cars.
Yeah, the technology will get there eventually, probably.
Yeah.
Really, really interesting to see.
Yeah. Travis is confirming me. They won't go E85 because they already are complaining. This is another technical nerdy thing. The gasoline has a specific energy density, as in it causes a certain amount of force, but by it exploding and them just changing to from to adding in the E10 fuel this year, they lost horsepower. All the teams did, because they had to develop the engines for the new fuel, and they all lost some amount of horsepower by just changing that fuel. So I don't know if it'll ever be an alternative fuel. And then they just do one more round of engine regulations, and then they just switch to electric cars. But we'll see.
Interesting stuff.
Time will tell.
This is why I gotta hang out with Todd on podcasts, so I can learn about things. That's why I gotta be in the Discord and listen to Aaron and Travis. I can learn about this stuff.
No, just nerdy things. Like, I can't quote, mid 2000s basketball like Travis. I just chose to focus on race car stuff.
Hey, I mean, I already know, once we get the Fitteds podcast, I've got a few people that can drop some gems. I know
Oh.
Drew's got a collection over there.
Drew needs to be a staple in that pod for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
All right. I got to jump off, guys.
Yeah, I got to get going too, guys. It's been great chatting with you. Thanks for being a part of the inaugural live stream. I mean,
Yeah, it's a good race.
Yeah, it was definitely a good race. Definitely a good race. So.
Thank you.
Join
guys
the Discord. Come
Yeah.
talk to us about it.
Thank you guys
Yeah.
for having me and fielding all of my newbie questions. I appreciate it very much. And yeah, we'll chat on the Discord later
Yeah,
for sure.
We'll definitely see you all in future races. This was fun.
Yeah.
We'll have to figure out how to do this in ways that don't get us into any kind of trouble. But,
that's the real trick.
There will be some form of live stream action, probably most races going forward, because I'm watching them all at some point live.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I'll make it for all the time of the race, every week or every race, but hopefully so. This was definitely a blast, and thanks for everybody in the comments too. And Aaron, maybe we can grab a coffee tomorrow if you need some if you need a hug.
Oh, don't forget to use your Amazon Prime subscriptions on the Sneaker History Twitch site. If you guys have those available, that'd be much appreciated. If you got
definitely, or on the Exhaust Notes Twitch, either one, we would definitely appreciate the.
Oh, are they separate? I didn't realize. Sorry, Nick.
Yeah, no, it's all good. I had to separate them.
Oh, my bad. No,
it's cool.
Either
way,
or.
Yeah, these communities are just going to mesh together even further once we start launching more podcasts. Anyway, so it's going to be awesome. You're going to learn a lot of cool stuff about things that you probably already are interested in, but just got a lot of people with some great knowledge. So. But that's it for now. Follow us at Exhaust Notes FM on all the platforms. We'll catch you in the next live stream. Peace, y'all.
See ya.
Peace.